So you want to know what the real estate market here in Pennsylvania might look like in 2021? Well, if so, this video is for you. But before we get into it, my name's Chris Nelson with Genstone Realty, and this channel is all about real estate advice, tips, and tech. So if any of that excites you, you're in the right place. But do me a favor, drop me a comment, hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing, and mash that bell so that you're notified of my future content. Now let's face it, 2020 has been a roller coaster ride for us all. And really no one knows what to expect in 2021, but to be honest, there are a few things that I think we're going to see when it comes to the real estate market here in Pennsylvania. Now, one of the biggest questions that I get asked is whether or not I think it will be a buyer or a seller's market. Well, to be honest, 2021 is looking like another year where it's going to be a seller's market. And there's a lot of different factors behind that, but the two biggest reasons behind that is the interest rates are still historically low and will continue to be low as we go through 2021. Now, let's just face it, there's no crystal ball as to when rates might go up, but even if they do go up and they go up marginally, with rates being as low as they are now, we still would have rates that are historically low and very, very attractive. And we all know that the lower the interest rate, well, the more buying power a buyer has. The other thing to take into consideration is the lack of inventory. And when there's a lack of inventory and an overwhelming amount of buyers, well, supply and demand, I shouldn't have to go into great detail there, but I think you get the picture that I'm trying to paint. So just to get that out of the way, I definitely think 2021 is going to be another rock solid year for sellers. Now, as I mentioned, one of the reasons it's going to be a phenomenal seller market is because of the overall inventory. But as we go into 2021, I think that there are three areas where we'll see inventory come into the market where we didn't see them so much this year. And the first of those three things are homes that are currently in forbearance. Now, if you don't know what forbearance is, I'm gonna encourage you to take a look or spend some time understanding the CARES Act. But this was a way for homeowners who had a hardship to skip their payments for 6 months. And so long as they communicated with their servicer before the expiration of that 6 months, they actually could extend that forbearance for another 6 months, allowing them for up to 12 months of no mortgage payments. Well, we are going to see those forbearances come to an end. As a matter of fact, we have already seen some forbearances end, and there's a combination of reasons for that. A lot of people didn't even know that they could extend for another 6 months simply by calling their servicer. But we will see an uptick in properties on the market for those coming out of forbearance. The second area where I think we'll see more inventory is from the sellers who are currently on the fence. Let's face it, there are a lot of people out there who are just afraid to actually go and put their home on the market. There are people who do not want others in their home, nor do they want to be the buyer and have to go out there and explore other people's homes. So as we move through the year and consumers become more comfortable with what is now everyday life, I firmly believe we're going to see some more homeowners decide that now is the time for them to put their house on the market. The other area I think that we're going to see some homes come into the market is the new construction market. Builder confidence is through the roof. As a matter of fact, it's reported that builder confidence is at an all-time high. And because of that, we are going to see builders continue to put sticks up and deliver properties. Now, one thing that we saw in 2020 that I don't think we're going to see as much of in 2021, which kind of put the brakes on some new construction, was the overall shutdowns that we saw in Pennsylvania, as well as things such as lumber and appliances not being delivered and or stuck on cargo freights. As we make our way through 2021, I think builders are going to find their footing in this market and really start to put for sale signs out in front of some of their properties. So those are three areas where I think we will see some new inventory come from. The other thing that I get asked about quite often is the foreclosure market. Now, for those of you who know me, know that I actually specialize in foreclosures and spend quite a bit of time understanding and looking at the market. Now, I don't want to go off and create any sense of scarcity, but let's just be real. There have been so many impacted businesses, big and small, that are going under and are not going to be coming back to light. That has actually rocked a lot of people's lifestyle and has depleted savings. So I hate to bear bad news, but the foreclosure market is going to come back into play, but I don't think it's going to be like we saw in 2008. As a matter of fact, I think that what we're going to see in 2021 will be the homes that were actually in that weird stage from previous, where they were either going to be foreclosed on, and because the court systems shut down, were not able to be foreclosed on, or whether or not it was an eviction that was planned and had to be delayed because of some of the mandates that were put in place. Those will be lifted, and unfortunately, the sheriff is going to be back in full swing moving forward with that pipeline of inventory. As we move forward, when it comes to new foreclosures, I think that servicers are going to do their best to work with borrowers a little bit more. That is going to delay the time frame in which we see properties that are a little bit behind on their mortgage to a point where they actually are in the foreclosure process. I think it's inevitable, but for the market of 2021, I think we're going to see pretty much an average amount of foreclosed homes that we have seen over the last few years. That does not mean that behind the scenes, there won't be foreclosure actions and things going on, meaning that 2022 or the years to follow, well, I think you see where I'm going with that. Short sales. Oh, don't we all love short sales? Once again, I hate to bring bad news, but I really think that we're going to see more short sales introduced to the market. Before you go and start crying about it, let me paint a little picture on why I think things will be different this time when it comes to short sales. Now, short sales in the real estate industry technically has a bad rap, and a lot of times people think that they take forever to facilitate. And to be honest, sometimes they do. I've had my fair share of the ones that have moved relatively quickly, as well as those that inched along the way. But what I think is going to be different going forward is I think the servicers now understand how to navigate that short sale market. They know that they will lose interested buyers if they don't figure this out and have a streamlined process on how to facilitate these short sale properties. I also think that realtors such as myself and a lot of others out there have spent time understanding and educating themselves on exactly how to navigate a short sale and help out both buyer and seller in a transaction which most people would shy away from. I also think that there will be more oversight, not only from the National Association of Realtors, but I also think that there will be more state level mandates and things put in place when it actually comes to handling and facilitating a short sale. So again, I hate to say it, I know a lot of you try to avoid short sales, but there will be more short sales entering the market as we go into 2021. Another thing to keep an eye on is I do think that we're going to continue to see more and more urban flight as time progresses. People are going to start leaving the cities and making their way into the suburbs and rural areas simply because they want more space. If there's one thing that this pandemic has taught us, it's that, well, a little bit of space goes a long way. And I think we're going to see that impact our housing market and buyers' decisions. And I also think that we may see some of the values change in some of those areas where people are less attracted in comparison to where they now realize they want to be. I also think that what buyers looked for in a home is going to be different in 2021 than it has been in the past. We are all realizing that we're spending more time from home. A lot of us are working from home, a lot of us are exercising from home, and a lot of us are teaching our children from home. Well, when you are in your house this much, it reminds you how much space you need, how convenient a home office is, how ideal it is to have recreational space that might be able to be a gym at one moment, and a playroom the next. So we're really going to see the buyer's mindset when it comes to features and amenities change as time progresses. And the very last thing that I think we need to pay attention to is the affordability and availability of homes. As a matter of fact, to be a little honest, this is one thing that has concerned me over the last few years, because over the last few years, home prices have been climbing drastically. And the concern is that the income for the average consumer here in Pennsylvania has not seen a raise in a similar fashion. So unfortunately, house prices are going up so fast where the average consumer can't keep up with it from a financial standpoint. And without there being any availability, well, it really creates these situations where we're seeing today where homeowners are getting multiple offers on their properties. Some of them are well over asking. Keep in mind that if you are selling your home in this climate, you will also become a buyer. And that's really where we need to keep an eye on overall affordability and availability. There you have it, folks. Hopefully 2021 is a lot more kind to us than 2020 has been. If there's anything that I can do to be of value to you or anyone you know, please know that I'm a call, email, or text away. With all of that being said, take care and Happy New Year.